Hey, founders and Candor Universe, happy holidays. Short one this week, mostly around sentiment in the markets. We have seen or noticed or heard about a number of buyers talking to sellers about how the markets have changed and that prices have come down or multiples of revenue or EBITDA have come down. And some of that appears to be, in our judgment, aspirational on their part, meaning because their cost of capital, their borrowing rates when they finance the transactions they do for buyouts. And here I'm talking about mostly the financial sponsors, the private equity firms, especially those that do majority recap or full buyout transactions. Their costs have gone up. So they need multiples to come down. Otherwise, they cannot create enough of a return to keep the limited partners who put money into their funds or a deal at a time into their deals. They can't make them enough money if they don't get the prices to come down because the cost of their leverage to borrow against to do the deals is higher. So here's the thing. If you're a seller or founder, that may be true, but we have seen that it is narrow. We have seen that a number of transactions, whether it be manufacturing, distribution, fitness and lifestyle, food and beverage, cannabis, even automotive, even some of the real estate oriented things are not necessarily trading down. But the private equity firms astutely are telling sellers and founders that multiples have come down, and they're using this as an opportunity to dig in, push harder on due diligence, retrade a little more aggressively. In other words, reduce the price when they've already got an engaged seller. And what we would tell the sellers is not necessarily to judge that behavior and say, I want no part of that. Just be aware that the actual multiples have not really moved very much, except in a few areas. They might go lower. And if we go through a recession, they will certainly go lower. But there is still plenty of dry powder, committed but uninvested capital out there on the sidelines waiting to do deals. And there are still plenty of transactions getting done. So while volume of some of the large and high-profile transactions may be changing and antitrust considerations come up in a deal like Microsoft Activision, and there's a lot of sentiment or rhetoric and articles about how the M&A market is going down or even imploding, we haven't seen it. We spend most of our time in the lower middle and middle market, call it anything between 25 million and up to $500 million or $1 billion of value. We're still seeing plenty of activity there. Buyers are pickier, their costs are higher, and they're trying to get prices to go lower. And frankly, that last part, trying to get prices to go lower, has been something they've been trying to do for a long, long time. You can appreciate that they want to do it, but frankly, if you're a seller, now is not necessarily the time to take a reduction in price just because you're being told by a savvy private equity investor that multiples have come down. If we can help be a solid second opinion on anything you're hearing or help with the transaction, please navigate over to Candor-Advisors. Hit us up. Have a great week and happy holidays.